You're relaxing on the couch, maybe scratching your dog's belly, and suddenly they tilt their head to the side. Adorable, right? But have you ever stopped to think, what's going on in that furry little head of theirs? In this video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of canine communication to uncover the hidden meanings behind those head tilts. Get ready to unlock a whole new level of understanding with your furry friend. You see, dogs experience the world through their senses, just like us, but their sense of hearing? That's on a whole other level. When a dog tilts their head, they're not just being cute, they're fine-tuning their audio radar. By tilting their head, they can slightly adjust the position of their ears, creating a subtle difference in the way sound reaches each ear. This helps them pinpoint the exact location of a noise, whether it's the squeak of a toy or the rustle of leaves. Next time your dog tilts their head, try making a soft, unusual sound, maybe a gentle whistle or a click with your tongue. Watch closely and see how their ears perk up, their head tilts, and their eyes lock onto you as they try to locate the source of the sound. Now let's talk about those adorable furry faces. Some dogs, especially our flat-faced friends like bulldogs and pugs, have what we call a brachycephalic head shape. While this gives them their signature squishable faces, it can also obstruct their vision. By tilting their head, they can get a better view of what's right in front of them, bypassing those big, wet noses and getting a clearer picture of the world. Some experts believe that this head tilt might also help dogs better understand our facial expressions. So the next time your dog tilts their head while you're looking at them, it might be their way of trying to read your emotions and deepen that special bond you share. Have you ever noticed your dog tilting their head when you're trying to teach them a new trick? Or maybe when you're giving them a command? It's not just because they're confused, though sometimes that's part of it. Recent studies suggest that head tilting could be a sign of concentration and recall in dogs. It's like when we furrow our brows or scratch our chins when we're deep in thought. Think about it. Learning new things takes focus, especially for our furry friends who rely on understanding our often confusing human language. So, when your dog tilts their head during a training session, they might be trying their hardest to process your words, decipher your hand signals, and figure out what you want them to do. So be patient, be encouraging, and keep those treats handy. We all know dogs are incredibly intuitive creatures. They seem to have a sixth sense when it comes to reading our moods. But did you know that head tilt might be one of their ways of showing empathy? Dogs are masters at picking up on our emotional cues, our tone of voice, our body language, even the subtle shifts in our energy. And when they sense we're feeling down, stressed, or anxious, they often try to comfort us in their own special way. Many dog owners have shared heartwarming stories of their dogs tilting their heads during emotional moments, a gentle nudge with their nose, a soft lick on the hand, and that unmistakable head tilt, offering silent support and understanding. It's a beautiful reminder of the deep, emotional connection we share with our canine companions and their incredible capacity for empathy. Subscribe to unlock more secrets behind your dog's cute behaviors. Now, while all dogs tilt their heads, some breeds are simply more prone to it than others. Take those adorable Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, for example. Their big, floppy ears are part of their charm, but they can also muffle sounds. So they've become masters of the head tilt, adjusting their ears to capture every whisper and rustle. Then there are our wrinkly-faced friends, the pugs, bulldogs, and French bulldogs. As we discussed earlier, their flat faces can sometimes obstruct their vision, making the head tilt essential for getting a clear view of the world. And let's not forget about those breeds with long, flowing ears like Cocker Spaniels and Irish Setters. Let's be honest, sometimes our dogs do things simply because they know it makes us smile. And that adorable head tilt? It's a surefire way to melt our hearts and earn some extra cuddles. Dogs are incredibly perceptive creatures, and they quickly learn what behaviors elicit positive reactions from us. If you've ever responded to your dog's head tilt with a baby voice, a treat, or a flurry of pets, you've essentially taught them that this behavior equals good things. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, you can use this to your advantage during training. Start by holding a treat near your dog's nose, then slowly move it to the side, encouraging them to follow it with their nose and naturally tilt their head. Now, while most head tilts are perfectly normal and just part of your dog's quirky charm, there are times when it could signal an underlying health issue. If your dog's head tilt is persistent, especially if it's accompanied by other symptoms like loss of balance, disorientation, walking in circles, or shaking their head excessively, it's crucial to consult your veterinarian as soon as possible. These could be signs of ear infections, which are quite common in dogs, especially those with floppy ears. Another possibility is vestibular disease, a condition that affects the inner ear and can cause balance problems and head tilting. While it can be alarming to see your dog experiencing these symptoms, the good news is that with prompt veterinary care, most cases can be managed effectively. Dogs may not be able to speak our language, but they're masters of nonverbal communication. Every wag of the tail, every lick of the face, every playful bow is their way of talking to us. And yes, you guessed it, the head tilt is part of their communication repertoire. Think of it as their way of asking for clarification, or expressing their curiosity. Just like we might tilt our heads or raise an eyebrow when we're confused or intrigued, dogs use this gesture to signal their need for more information or context. It's their way of engaging in the conversation and showing us that they're actively listening and trying to make sense of our human world. Let's not forget about the pure joy and excitement that dogs bring into our lives. Sometimes a head tilt isn't about deciphering our words or empathizing with our emotions, it's simply a reflection of their playful nature and zest for life. You know those moments when you're about to take your dog for a walk and you can practically see the gears turning in their head as they try to contain their excitement? Their tail starts wagging furiously, their eyes light up, and yep, there's that adorable head tilt. Or maybe you're about to give them their favorite treat, and they sit there patiently, their head cocked to the side, as if to say, "Are you sure this deliciousness is really for me?" And let's not forget when you start talking in that silly dog voice we all do. They tilt their head like they're trying to figure out why their human suddenly sounds like a cartoon character. It's their way of staying connected and engaged with us, even when we're being totally goofy. At its core, the head tilt is a social behavior that strengthens the bond between dogs and their humans. It's a gesture that elicits a positive response from us, reinforcing the connection and communication between our two species. Think about it. When your dog tilts their head, you can't help but smile, talk to them in a softer voice, or maybe even give them a scratch behind the ears. This positive feedback loop encourages them to repeat the behavior, further solidifying the bond between you. It's a beautiful example of how something as simple as a head tilt can bridge the communication gap between species, fostering a deeper understanding, trust, and affection between humans and their canine companions. One dog owner shared that every time she sang to her dog, he would sit at her feet, tilt his head, and gaze up at her with such love and attention. Before we wrap up, here's that bonus tip I promised. To encourage your dog to tilt their head, try making unique sounds or speaking in different tones. This not only stimulates their curiosity, but also provides mental enrichment. Now we'd love to hear from you. Does your dog have a signature head tilt or a quirky behavior? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into canine communication, be sure to check out our next video, How Dogs See the World, Understanding Their Vision Like Never Before. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our latest content. Thanks for watching.